Hey everyone, it's the Nitty Professor. I'm here tonight to talk about the fact that I'm working on old projects in the new year. And I don't know, it's really odd because I had all these ambitions of starting a newsletter, and something just came over me and I was like, well, wait a minute. I've still got some unfinished things that might be fun to get done. Maybe I could afford the time. I don't know. And I don't know if it's like a nostalgia, or I'm curious if that ever comes over you. Like, you're thinking it would be really exciting to start this or start that, and your ambition just kind of goes, just fades, and you're thinking to yourself, I could also finish an old project. And that's what happened with this hat. So this has been kind of languishing for a good while. I'm not even sure why. It's not like it's hard, right? To whip up a hat. It's still, I blocked it. And so the deal with this hat is that, so I did this polar bear hat. It's really cute, based on a pattern in a magazine. And this is kind of it's not necessarily a bulky yarn, but it might be an Aran weight. It's a plump yarn, right? And so this yarn that I use for the orange hat is similar. And on the label it says plump DK. So I paid a lot of attention to the plump and not enough attention to the DK. So this is the yarn that I used and did a short with it last night. It's called Mrs. Moon. And when you start to, draw out the threads, it's crazy how it blends in with the wallpaper. It's like you can barely tell what's orange, what's pink anymore. So I'm sorry about that. Used a size 5 needle. Used circulars for most of it, but I used also DPNs because I like DPNs. However, here's a makeup of the yarn. It's got some merino and some baby alpaca. And it says 20 stitches to the inch. So that's, that's definitely not worsted. Needle size 4 to 4.5 millimeter, which I always forget what that is. So that's my fault. But in any case, these hats, they look a similar size and stuff. However, this one is all wool. And it's a lot stretchier. Even where the color work is, it's still kind of stretchy. Whereas the one that it says DK on the label and stuff, it's just not as stretchy. And yeah, I think it's mainly the yarn. I should have probably cast on, I think I did 92 stitches. I probably should have done like maybe 108, something like that. I'm not sure. So it's going to be fine. I definitely can wear it. I have to sort of smoosh it down, and that works, so, but it's kind of tight around here, and not that has anything to do with the fact that I just now decided to get it done. So I've got a useful hat. This one is definitely plumper and smooshier and stuff like that. So, and this one has a more traditional crown to it too. Speaking of old, I went back to my old way of doing a crown using just knit 2 stitches together, whereas this one, and I had a kind of a pattern specific one that I tried, which was, it's cool. It's like a star. It's cool. I think it was originally supposed to be a 4-star, and I changed the number of stitches. I don't know. I'm not always an expert at figuring out how many stitches I should actually be casting on. Still have to work on gauge, which is, it's one of the reasons, speaking of doing old stuff, it's one of the reasons why I keep sticking to my old sock formula, How you doing there, Ari? I gave Ari a piece of beef tendon. It was like his Christmas beef tendon, and he's definitely engaged. I don't know if you can see him there. Yeah, you can see his ear. There he is. Yay. So anyhow, we might have to do an Ari sighting when we're finished here. So I've showed this pair of socks a few times. And obviously, these socks have been being worked on for a while, because number 1 has been done and it's been sitting there for a good while. And that's another old project. I'm like, well, damn, I should just get these babies done. You know, I mean, they've been sitting around, and so we're moving along. You can see, give you an idea of how close we are. So I've probably got 2.5 inches left to stitch on these, and oh my god, I can't wait to put these on. The yarn's fantastic. I'm pretty sure it's German, but the colors, oh my god, the colors. I always make the most impractical socks. But yeah, this is Regia Schachenmeier Fluoromania. It looks like Flowermania. And I just had to have that. I think I bought it in Omaha. At the now defunct, no, actually, I didn't. I'm lying. I bought it at Paradise Fibers in Washington, which had a fire, but apparently they came back. I need to go out there again. Spokane. That's a really fun store because they have a lot of spinning supplies in addition to all their yarn. But this is 25% nylon, 75% wool, and the color is called Neon Berry. Neon Berry. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So again, another old project where I'm like, darn, I should get that done. I should just get that done. I should cast on a sweater. But no! I should get my old socks done. And, you know, I'm kind of getting a bit of excitement out of finishing up these old projects. I was like, I've got to start something new. And then, I don't know, finishing old projects is its own satisfaction. I'm guessing you can identify with that, at least some of you, if you can. I would love to know more in the comments about how you are wishy-washy with going back and forth between the new and the old. Here's another thing I'm threatening to return to this hat. I can't even remember when I started it. It's probably been at least a year. This is a lot of fun. And this is another one where I'm a little concerned about the gauge. I feel like it's big. On the other hand, it's colorwork, so, you know, I mean, it's a little bigger, but once I cinch it up, once I do the shaping on the top, I think it'll cinch it up pretty good. But isn't that fun? So it's got this kind of flower. And then what we're dealing with, I don't know if you can tell, but it's that Swedish horse. So we're getting close to the top. Now, gauge is definitely not quite what it should be because I will show you the patterns from this book, Winter Knits from Scandinavia. Hopefully I have the right book. Yes. So the name of the pattern is Kerbett's Delight Hat. Now this has a lot of really cool stuff going on in the crown area, but I don't think I'm gonna get that high. I think I'm gonna have to edit. Otherwise it's gonna be too tall. So, I don't know if I have anything close by to measure this with. Sometimes I'm smart that way and I actually include tape measures or something. But I'm rummaging around in my bag and all I have is the yarn. But I can show you the yarn. It is a Shetland. Have a black cherry color, woolen spun in New England, made in the USA. All wool, 100% virgin wool, it says. Needle size 2 to 4. So it's definitely a sport weight is what I would call that, a sport weight yarn. But it, you know, maybe the pattern called for fingering weight. I don't know. Again, Gage and me are not yet fast friends. And I love how you guys are like, man, you do such beautiful work. And a lot of times I'm like, whoa, yeah. But sometimes I just gotta get real. I'm like, yes, but. Yes, but. So I am seriously tempted to get this baby done. I'm gonna have to do some calculating. It can't be as tall as what it's gonna be if I follow the entire pattern. Then I really would have a problem. But I think if I end at the top of the ponies and then, I don't know, adapt the crown shaping, it looks kind of complicated. But it looks like they've got a pretty good recipe for the crown shaping. I'm just going to have to start it earlier. And yeah, I have to figure out what to remove. And take off a couple of inches. I can do it, right? I can figure out how to make this work. I have now, I'm going to claim that I'm good at this. I have a pretty solid history of doing decreases on sweater yokes, which works. I think it's going to work in this instance as well. So, who knows? I'm kind of motivated. Now, I'm doing this video and I'm like, I'm going back to the old, even though it's a new year. I don't know why. And I might just cast on that sweater. I don't know. It's only 6:30. However, I have another option. I'll just put this baby on. It's kind of fun. With the polar bear, the other option, which, again, some of you have seen this before. This is a sweater. Again, I don't even know when I started this baby. It's been years. It has been years. Now, this was another let's use leftover sock yarn up endeavor. And again, gauge is, gauge. I ended up like going down to, I think I'm using circular needles that are literally a 1. And I think I even bought circulars that are like a 0. Which is a little trick to find, sweater size circular needles in such a low size. Because they're like, why would you want to knit a sweater on size 0? Well, it's because maybe I cast a few extra stitches on and I don't want to unpick all of this progress. That could be the reason. And it's a good reason because I really don't. I mean, I don't mind having a baggy sweater. Kind of thinking it won't come to that. Again, this is all color work. So can you tell what these are supposed to be? Naturally, they're supposed to be cats. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I used a mitten pattern. Again, I've done videos on this before, and everybody's like, yeah, you got to finish this. And I agree. And so, let me show you something else. Right now, we're dealing with this color. This is yarn, if I recall correctly. I bought this in Hungary. That gives you an idea. I bought this in 2017. It's leftover. The socks I'm actually wearing out because had them for a good while. But the next color I want to go to against the white background is this baby. And these are socks that I knit from yarn I bought in Atlanta, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. This sock yarn is, of course, made in Ireland, hedgehog fibers, right? You can recognize hedgehog, made in Ireland. Yeah, I bought this in Atlanta. It's 90% wool, 10% nylon. Usually I like a little more nylon, although I shouldn't like any. But yeah, I'm kind of stuck in those ways too. However, I mean, that's going to be stunning against this, the light yarn that I have for the neutral color. That's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. I got to keep working on it, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, I could cast on another sweater. And I could also work on this sweater. Which makes more sense. You guys know me, I knit for the fun of it. And for some reason, these past few days, I don't know if it's just the stress of designing a brand new course I've never taught. Finally finished that effort tonight. Teaching a course on educational methods and access technology for students with visual impairments and multiple disabilities. So I've taken the course. The version I took isn't quite up to my standards, so I totally redesigned it. And I got that done. So I have a whole week before the semester starts. And I might be able to make some headway on this sweater. I don't know, folks. I had all these, I was just like, I balled up 4 skeins of sock yarn thinking I'm going to start new socks. I've got a new puppy I'm breaking in. I've been watching all kinds of videos to learn how to train him, trying out different methods, and if you have any tips on training puppies, let me know that too. Hey Ari, do you want to make an appearance? Would you like to make an appearance? Maybe if I lower the stand, you guys can see him. There he is. Yeah. There he is. Yeah. Hey Ari. He likes his beef tendon. So anyhow, I hope your year's getting off to a good start. I hope whatever knitting you're doing you're having a good time with it, and maybe even finishing something. Maybe even at the right gauge. I'm making this one work. It's going to be fine. But the next time, I would definitely cast on more stitches for this hat. Let me know what you're working on, if it's old, if it's new, how the year's going. And I'll try to, maybe I'll finish something else soon. And I might surprise you. We'll see. You guys take care. Ciao.